And the Y'all Show back with you. Time to get your barbecue on, as this is the special time each week or every other week or however often we get a chance to talk to Matt Heermans, the barbecue barrister. We bring him on to talk Q and great food and more, and that's what we're going to do right now. Let's welcome in Mr. Barbecue Barrister Matt Heermans. And I'm going to get this guy jealous about something I just did, and something even more in his eye, somewhere I just went and visited in person. Hello, Matt Heermans. Welcome to the Y'all Show.
Hello. I am ready to be made jealous. Let's hear it. Well,
Matt, I don't want to make you get jealous and us have a lover's quarrel here.
It's all good, man. If it's a barbecue jealousy, I am all for it.
Okay. Well, now that you said it like that. Okay. So and I know you, Matt Heermans, keep up with everything at y'all.com and y'all.com on Facebook. But for those of us who might have had a little bit too busy with a schedule and not been able to track yours truly here the last 10 days or so, I was on a little quick trip across the South. You might have seen me in East Tennessee. I was in the Mississippi Delta. We put up great interviews. Go check them out at y'all.com as well as y'all.com on Facebook. Please make sure you like and subscribe to our page as well on Facebook. But Matt Heermans, I was in East Tennessee early last week. I had to go to Mississippi. And so if you were able to get out your map and study it real quick, if you go from, let's say, Chattanooga to, let's say, Tupelo, there's a good chance you're going to be traveling through a place called Decatur, Alabama.
Yeah, I was looking through my head. I'm like, I bet I know where he stopped.
Yes, and I actually did go out of my way. I went about a mile out of my way to do this, but I had you in mind when I made a perfectly timed 11:15 a.m. arrival at Big Bob Gibson BBQ in Decatur, home of the famous Alabama white sauce.
Yeah, that home of Chris Lilly is the pit master there,
He is
right?
the pit master, and Matt Heermans, we did an interview with Chris Lilly a couple months ago. Please go into the Y'all archives and pull that up and check out that great virtual interview that we did with him as part of our tour of the Alabama Mountain Lakes. I saw Chris Lilly when I was leaving, so I didn't bother him for a free meal. He didn't get a warning I was going to be there. I went and was a good customer and paid. And on my way to go climb in my car, fully stuffed, I saw Chris Lilly walking inside. He was wearing a mask, so it was a little hard to prove it was him unless I could see one thing that showed that it was truly him. He had on his trucker baseball cap, and I was able to tell that was Chris Lilly, proprietor of Big Bob Gibson. And we had a great little 5-minute conversation, and it was good to see him in person, and I got to really compliment him. I had not been in Big Bob Gibson's for probably 20 years, so it was long overdue for me to arrive there in Decatur and check it out. But it was a great lunch I had, and if you don't mind, I'm going to go through kind of what I had, but also remind people of all the variety of choices you have at Big Bob Gibson. And also to remind you, you can go to Big Bob Gibson, no S on the end, bigbobgibson.com, and order stuff from them in Decatur, Alabama. So yeah, they have your traditional maybe barbecue joint appetizers you can get there, the smoked chicken wings. They have a Brunswick stew that's I've been told is yummy. I didn't get any of that because I was saving up for the heavy hitters. So when I was in there, Matt, I asked my waitress there about what I could get that would combine both the chicken and the pulled pork. It was not until I did the interview and talked to you about that interview how famous Big Bob Gibson is for their chicken, their smoked chicken. Tell me what they do, the award-winning chicken that they provide there to their customers.
Well, they're certainly famous for the white sauce, right?
Yeah, yes.
And the white sauce goes with chicken. It is a chicken special type deal. And what they do, obviously they smoke their chicken, barbecue style chicken, smoked. I'm sure it's fantastic. But the curious or the interesting thing they do is they take the chicken once it's done cooking and they dunk it into that white sauce. The chicken takes a bath. It doesn't get basted on. It doesn't get squirted on. The chicken takes a bath in that white sauce. And that's kind of their specialty. That is their flavor profile that goes with the smoked chicken with the white sauce, and you get it dunked. So that's kind of what's cool about their chicken. And I will say, I'm a little jealous that you got to stop. I'm familiar with the place, but I've never actually been able to go. So it's jealousy in a good way. I'm very happy you got to go do it, and I think it's really cool to see Chris Lilly. He's a pretty famous guy on the barbecue circuit, coming in and out of his own restaurant. So that's probably why they're maintaining such high standards, because he's around. So I think that's pretty cool. So what did you think of the chicken?
The chicken was great. In fact, I would not have normally. I love me some good pulled pork barbecue. That's what I was there to really enjoy. But I couldn't miss out on the opportunity to have me some of that chicken, because it had been built up, especially as you just said, with a white sauce. You can't miss. So it was really good. I had a feast there. And I'm not done with my feast, by the way. I'm going to brag about the barbecue. It was fantastic. The chicken was fantastic. One of the really cool things they did was whenever my meal came out, and I wasn't trying to use the whole y'all.com thing to get extra special treatment here. They didn't know who I was when I went in there, and that's easy to pull off in today's world where you got to get covered up with a darn mask everywhere you go. But when I sat down with the food, when they brought it out to me, Matt, they gave me samplings of all of the different sauces they serve there, and they actually have 1, 2, 3, I think they have 5 sauces. They brought me out 4 containers, large containers of their sauces. That was the white sauce. It was a barbecue sauce. It was a vinegar-based sauce. Then they also, I think, had one with a little bit of a kick to it. But I knew they had a mustard-based sauce, and they did not bring that out with my meal. I had to ask for it. She gave me a whole bottle of the mustard-based sauce, and I'll give since we're kind of in a World Series time, a home run rating for every single one of their sauces. They were all fantastic. And so I mixed that bad boy up, the pulled pork and the chicken, with all those sauces, and it was delish. Let me also brag on the sides. I was able to munch on a beautiful looking and even more beautiful tasting serving of macaroni and cheese. And I'd heard Chris Lilly talk about how good the macaroni was there. Chris, I'll give you a big thumbs up on that, an affirmation. Your mac and cheese is delicious. Also, their sides include kettle baked beans, red skin potato salad. They've got coleslaw, a side salad, and more. And Matt, I'm going to really make you jealous now. You might not be so happy for me when I tell you what I had for dessert.
Oof, I'm ready. See, I'm vicariously eating this meal through you, so let's wash it down with some sweet stuff.
Okay.
What's up?
I wish I had visuals. I don't have visuals. We'll work on that for next time. But let me run through the 1, 2, 3, 5 dessert choices they have there at Big Bob Gibson, and then I'll let you pick which one you think I had. So are you ready for the Big Bob Gibson dessert choices? All right. Choice number 1, and I'm going on the way they appear on their menu. They have a chocolate homemade pie, a coconut cream homemade pie, a lemon icebox homemade pie, a peanut butter homemade pie, and then they also have as they would say there in North Alabama, a pecan homemade pie.
The correct way. Yeah.
That's how they would say it. Those are the 5 choices they have, and I will also vouch that they were all homemade and they looked and tasted amazing. But the only one I really dined on this particular day was, take a guess.
Let me guess the pecan.
No, I wanted to try that, but I couldn't pass up on a peanut butter homemade pie. I love peanut butter. I love
peanut butter too.
Have you ever had a peanut butter pie?
I have not, but I'm just like you. I love peanut butter.
Well, this was good, but it was just darn good, and it didn't taste like they took a can of peanut butter and put it in a pie dish and then just put whipped cream on it. It was a lot more to it. In fact, Matt, this is bad visual. My pie, here's a Sharpie. That pie, when it was on my plate, was at least the height of a Sharpie pen and maybe even a little higher. It was humongous, and it was so good, and it was reasonably priced. Those pies go for less than $4 a piece, and it made a wonderful meal. even more wonderful when you had such a great ending, a happy ending there at Big Bob Gibson in Decatur, Alabama. So that was my little surprise that I enjoyed, that unfortunately you couldn't be along with me for that fun, but I wanted you to be vicariously along with me. So therefore, I just had to let it out here on today's Y'all Show. A nice plug for Big Bob Gibson and Chris Lilly. Please go back in our y'all.com archives and watch the interview I did with him earlier in the summer, where we focused on North Alabama and the mountain lakes of Alabama in a tourism spotlight. And we did an interview virtually with Chris Lilly of Big Bob Gibson. Again, their website, bigbobgibson.com, where you can order some of this fun stuff. I don't know if they'll ship the peanut butter pie to you, Matt, but if they have a way to do it, I know they'll get it to you.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear about, John. And it sounds like thumbs up all around for Big Bob Gibson's. And I must say, I'm not jealous anymore after hearing it. I almost feel like I went there with you after hearing about the various treats that you consume. But that doesn't make me any less determined to make my way over to that part of the state of Alabama.
Decatur is literally 15-minute ride from the Huntsville International Airport. So go ahead and make your reservations. Fly into Huntsville and get over into Morgan County and enjoy a good time there at Big Bob Gibson. The food's good. The atmosphere was great. Chris Lilly was great if you're able to catch him. He is, as you said, a star in the foodie world. And you go in there and you see all the awards they've won there at the various barbecue competitions, and they're the real deal. And I'm just glad to see one of our great southern restaurants surviving. I saw all the marks out in the parking lot where they tell people when it's really busy to stand the 6 feet apart. So I know, just like any other proprietor, he's had a rough time here the last 7 months. But that's one place that the food is not diminished at all. It's great there at Big Bob Gibson. Thank you for letting me come along and get that off my chest, Matt Heermans.
I appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me to hear about it. I love it.
Yes, and it's not just me. There's a lot of people listening and watching that have also had a great time right off of US 31 there in Decatur, and a feast awaiting at Big Bob Gibson. Matt Heermans will catch up with you, and maybe I'll let you share some food memories with me instead of me hogging the microphone. I want you to kind of share with me next time we get back together. Does that sound like a plan?
You'll just have to shut me up. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, and if you do that, I'll be nice enough and send you a piece of that homemade peanut butter pie. Matt Heermans, our barbecue barrister, everybody. And that will wrap up our conversation of this, the Y'all Show, and we'll have more goodness from across the South coming right up on the show that covers everything Southern.